Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Agri 2020. New Perspectives in Agriculture brought to you by Dream Agritech and Dream Agri Media. Our topic for today: spice up your smart agriculture initiative. The case of DOST Project Spice, and we have a very special guest for today who will be talking about this particular project. So stay tuned for that. For those who are attending this looking for an e-certificate, please stay tuned as we will be discussing how you can get your hands on an e-certificate. But the condition is you must stay until the end of the stream. So we will be issuing e-certificates for those who will accomplish our post-webinar evaluation form. So please, we rely on that evaluation form so you can improve our services further, and we can help present to you the topics in a manner that would be better for you. So please do like our Facebook pages, Dream Agritech and Dream Agri Media, and also hit the live notification button so you will be notified once we go live on both our pages. And you can also find us on YouTube, which we are also simulcast broadcasting to. Find us there, Dream Agritech Services, and hit the notification bell as well. So we are about to start in 45 seconds. By the way, guys, have you taken our client availability survey? So please do head on to dreamagritech.com/agrimedia-survey so we can tweak our programming to reach you at the time that you want, at a day that you want. So we can change this. We are looking to change the schedules for Agri 2020 and Agri Kaba. So please let us know through the client availability survey, dreamagritech.com/agrimedia-survey. So we are about to begin the stream. Thank you for tuning in. This is Agriculture 2020. Good afternoon, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat na nandyan, na nanonood ngayon dito sa Agri 2020. Ako po si Dakila Olfindo. Welcome po sa ating stream for today. Today we have a very special guest. We have a very special topic at hand. And to kick us off, kasama din natin ang ating colleague na si Jim Cano. Jim, good afternoon, brother.
Yo, what's up?
Gusto ko yung ano mo
Hello,
gusto ko yung backlight mo ngayon very in theme sa Agri 2020
Of course,
Yes.
very green, we are
Very green,
sustainable thinking, green-minded, green backlift. Sustainable mindset.
Which is it goes hand in hand dun sa topic natin today. Sustainability. Yes.
Kasi yung topic natin, pag-uusapan yung iba't ibang mga aspeto yata ng light at saka impact nila sa growth ng mga
Aba!
Mga
wavelength ano, yung effect ng wavelength sa plant growth
may pag-uusapan din yata regarding that. So, very interesting yung topic natin today.
Sakto. So, why not? Let's go right ahead. And, bro, I'll give you the floor. Please do the honor of introducing our guest speaker for today.
All right. Thanks. All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Agri 2020, New Perspectives in Agriculture. I'm very pleased to introduce our guest speaker for today, who is an assistant professor from the Institute of Biology from UP Diliman. and she is the project leader of DOST Spice. So you'll know more about what Spice means later. And just to give a bit background, she teaches development biology and advanced genetics. She currently supervises several PhD and MS students and undergraduate students as well. Her PhD is in genetics and plant pathology from UP Los Baños. She serves as a tech steering committee member of the DA, or the Department of Agriculture Biotech, and a member of pool of experts for both DA, Department of Agriculture, and CHED, the Commission on Higher Education. So before going back to UP, she worked in IRI, the International Rice Research Institute, for more than 2 decades. She has served the UPLB Genetic Society, the IRI AFSTRI, which if I'm not mistaken, it's I think it's the international association within ERI of for the scientists and researchers. And she's also served as the president of CSSP, or the Crop Science Society of the Philippines. She also has published. She has international publications as well, which are well cited. And she is section editor of Philippine Journal of Crop Science. I've known our guest speaker from my time, or I got to know her from my time as a member also of the Erie Toastmasters Club. She served as the vice president for education back then, and she also served as the area director for Erie Toastmasters, Area 78, if I'm not mistaken, of Division 2, the Toastmasters International. So, without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Jessica Ray to the stage.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Tita J.
Hi, everybody. Um, ang haba ng introduction mo, ha?
At least hindi umabot ng 1
Anyway.
hour po.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we
well,
have a lot of viewers po, no? Tita, if you've seen the mga pinapa-float ni Dax, may mga nanonood from different parts of the country also. So may mga from Zamboanga, meron from Bataan, ito Bulacan din, and from Tabuk City,
wow.
Catanduanes. So madami,
Ang
Olongapo
dami pala.
City din. Opo, so
Ang dami pala.
ayan po,
Okay.
madaming interested sa discussion niyo. So Tita, Doc J, I'll give you the floor for you to present already.
Sige. So
Thank you.
okay, thanks, Jim. And thanks, Dax. So I think you're seeing my slides already, no? So the topic of my talk this afternoon is entitled Spice Up Your Smart Agriculture Initiative. Okay, this is the case of the DOSTP Shared Spice Project. And I hope medyo green din ako, no? Kaya lang yung kortina ko di masyadong green. Okay. So, intentional ko yung title na yan, no? And why do I say intentional? Can I have my next slide, please? So when I say spice up, that means spice, and up means something. No? So SPICE stands for Smart Plant Production in Controlled Environments. And up is signifying UP because this is a project led by UP Diliman and UP Los Baños. Okay, so from UP Diliman, where I'm coming from, the Institute of Biology, and the other project team leaders from the Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute, or Triple E, are working with us. And then from UP Los Baños, I'm working closely with the Institute of Plant Breeding from CAPS and the Institute of Ag Engineering from the SEAT. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay, so yung agriculture initiative, bakit ko sinasabing agriculture initiative when in fact this project is fully supported by DOSTP Shared. This is actually our response to Agriculture 4.0. Okay, so ano ba ang gusto namin mangyari? We want this to be the start of a new era in agriculture and our contribution to it, making it smart. And again, I have another meaning for SMART. Marami kayong maririnig niyan hanggang matapos ako. So, S is for science-based. M is market-driven. We are developing technologies which are what will be sold or will be, we want to gain knowledge or acceptance, adoption from businessmen, from LGUs, and the likes. Okay, we promise that the technology will be accessible, and we will be transferring the technology soon. Actually, no? R is for resilient to climate change, and in the course of my lecture or this presentation, I'm going to emphasize more on how we will be climate resilient. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So ano ba yung SPICE program? Anong mission namin? We want to develop a climate change resilient and at the same time environment-friendly agriculture 4.0 farm. And this should fit an urban setting to ensure that there is food sustainability and conservation of some of the species that we want to conserve or we're focusing at this point. So the whole SPICE program is composed of 4 projects. Ito yung mga projects. Okay. So the first project is actually aimed at developing the standalone farm or the controlled environment, which is indoor. Okay. Here, Triple E of UP Diliman will be designing climate control systems. Okay. And also the artificial light, including the nutrient delivery for the crops. Okay. We hope to have a real-time monitoring. Okay. Next slide, please. So yung project 2 will be the sensor-based monitoring. So hindi na, well, at this point, I'm going to show you in a while, we're doing it mano-mano, but soon, no, in the next 2-3 months, all our analytics and monitoring will be sensor-based already. So ito ay meron kaming web app tsaka mobile app that will allow the farmer, the modern farmer, to monitor the farm itself. Okay? So magkakaroon niya ng SMS notification and all that, and all the data is actually stored in the cloud. Okay, next slide, please. So itong project 3, this is actually the food production, the urban food production, which I am leading and which I will talk more about as this is the agriculture part of the whole program. Okay. So here our vision actually is to produce urban food and make it mainstream. Okay. Kung kailan, it's a moving target for us. Okay. So paano namin gagawin yon? We will develop and promote both horizontal and vertical production models, which are soilless. And I'm going to show you a glimpse of the different vertical farm setups that we have, the greenhouse, and I'm sure some of you who are watching this now are familiar with the SNAP. No? We are working closely with the SNAP developer or inventor. He's one of my team members. And we have started to develop a modified SNAP solution or formula for the different crops that we are developing or we are growing this time. Okay. Next slide, please. So there is a 4th project, which this time this is on the conservation side. Now we want to do ex situ and micropropagation through micropropagation and cryopreservation of native plant species which are endemic in the Philippines and endangered as well. And we will also be applying smart controls or monitoring systems for the maintenance of these materials that are being grown now in the tissue culture facility of UPLB. Next slide, please. Okay. So ito yung let me touch a little on the project 4 because I'd like to focus more on projects 1, 2, and 3 in a while. So project 4, we actually identified several species to be prioritized based on their conservation status. No? I'm putting up the table here just to give you an idea. And please switch on the next slide. So this species are actually shown here: Hopea cagayanensis, Shorea malibata, Auxilia rhomboidea. Next slide. Next slide, please. So we have Olea palawanensis, Calamus affinis, Schistosoma palawanense. Next slide po. Sa Madera indica and Lunacia amara. In fact, we added a few more here: Delinia and Solatri, Calophyllum solatri. Okay. So next slide, please. So what do we do in order to conduct an ex situ conservation? Dito, we're starting with collecting plants or parts of the plants from their actual area kung saan sila endemic or we find them within the Philippines. So this is led by Dr. Edwina Fernando and Dr. Marlene Quimado of UPLB. And so all the collections are brought back to UP Los Baños at this point kasi hindi pa ready yung tissue culture facility sa Diliman. So all the materials are housed in the College of Forestry Biological Sciences, no? Forest Biological Sciences. Okay, so anong ginagawa doon? Nagpo-produce ng tissue culture materials, and I'm just showing you a few here. Panel A is actually Calophyllum solatri and B is Delinia luzonensis. Next slide, please. So ito, from callus to tissue culture na, no? And what we want is regenerate them into full stable seedlings for future replanting. And then the other objective is to do cryopreservation. So at this point, we're trying to develop cryopreservation protocols through vitrification of all the targeted species that we have. So far, all over the world, wala pang gumagawa nito. Tsaka, kung meron man, may mga related species ng dipterocarps, but they're not working for our materials. So we really have to develop our own protocols to preserve the materials for future regeneration activities. So ito ay in response to the National Greening Program of the NR as well. And hopefully, when the greenhouse in Diliman is established, we will be able to produce thousands of planting materials for a well-planned reforestation. Okay, so next slide, please. So punta na tayo dun sa Project 3 where I am leading. Okay? So ang vision namin is actually to make urban food production mainstream. Paano ba natin gagawin yon? Ang hirap mag-produce ng food kapag urban area, ang daming issues, no? Bukod sa kakaunti yung lupa, mainit, of course, mahal ang per square meter, whether that's Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Metro Davao, at saka yung mga main cities, no? Tapos mainit, and then all of them are what? Prone to flooding. Okay? So anong ginagawa ngayon? No, what do we know now? When we started this project, we had to do a survey of what is actually out in the world, no, or in the Philippines per se. Okay? So sa ibang bansa, marami nang nagagawang mas advanced kaysa dito sa atin. But I'm showing you now what we have. No, we only have backyard farms. We have very organized farms now. Since the project started in 2018, we have discovered a few allies, no, May mga konting farms, not to mention a few um, vertical VIP farms in Tarlac, which already expanded to Visayas. No? Meron na silang pangalawang farm sa Visayas. There is also another, a few in Tagaytay, no? Which are all niche producers, meaning etong mga farms na to, they produce for very specific clients. Okay? The backyard farms, which are actually existing already in Cavite, Batangas, Quezon, Bulacan, all these are hydroponics, ang principle behind them, and they all have some of them would have several layers, but most of them have this one, no? Horizontal lang yung layer. Next slide, please. One layer lang, kumbaga. Okay? Now, when we started the project, we want to embark on several crops. So we know already that lettuce survives the hydroponic setup. For some other researchers who are in the field right now, they also have other crops such as broccoli, and some claim to have the ability to grow strawberries as well, no, outdoor. Okay, so what we wanted was to move one step ahead of these researches, and instead of doing just the outdoor growing using hydroponics, we want to start indoor. Bakit we want to start indoor? Kasi nga yung outdoor or the greenhouse setup, kahit sinabing greenhouse setup siya, hindi pa rin masyado makontrol yung environment, especially the temperature, or kapag bumagyo, bumaha, nandun pa rin yung issue. Whereas, if we do indoor, then medyo mas secure yung ating mga crops. Okay? So I'm showing you now two setups that we currently have. So yung panel na medyo purple on your screen, actually that's purple because of the LED lights, and that's chili pepper. So F1 hybrid, no? Red Hat F1 hybrid. Hindi ko na lang babanggitin yung kumpanya kasi hindi ata sila nagsusponsor ng Agri 2020. Okay? So yung nasa right side is, so itong nasa left side na panel A is pepper. Meron din niyang kasamang tomato, kaya lang hindi nakasya dun sa screen ko. Meron yan kasabay na outdoor setup right now in UPLB, which is also pepper and tomato. No? So here you can see the tomato nagfa-flower na siya, and both the pepper indoor and outdoor as well are at the flowering stage already, or reproductive already. Okay. So you see some of the photo credits are from my colleagues or my researchers. No? Next slide, please. So what we're doing indoor is trying different microgreens and lettuce species, lettuce varieties. Okay, and we're trying to manipulate all or test all environmental conditions which can be controlled. Ano-ano ba yon? So temperature, humidity, okay, carbon dioxide supply as well, and the light. Okay? So, ito yung setup namin. Hindi ko masyadong mapakita sa inyo kasi medyo nag-a-apply pa kami ng patent at this point. Okay? So, medyo kinwrap ko yung mga setups. Okay? But if you're interested to collaborate, we are open for collaboration as well. Okay? Can you move to the next slide, please? so far, ito na yung mga alam namin outdoors na nag-grow under hydroponic condition or with the nutrient solution soilless. Okay? And we're doing all this indoor as well. Now, we have started. Ang hindi na lang namin nasimulan is the broccoli. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. So, ano yung kaibahan ng indoor tsaka outdoor? Ito na yung sinasabi ni Jim na medyo excited sila. This is actually part of our climate resilience development. No? So we're using artificial light. The technology now is actually LED. Okay, so these are what we got from our collaboration from National Taiwan University. So luckily, no, actually maraming luck na kasama itong project na ito. We already have University of the Philippines and National Taiwan University already has a memorandum of agreement, no, of understanding. So it was very easy for us to set up the collaboration so that we can learn from them. We don't need to reinvent the wheel in terms of identification of what spectrum, what kind of LED, what is the combination of the lights, no, next slide, please. Also, the photoperiod sensitivity of the different lettuce varieties, lettuce varieties that we want to work on. So here, I'm just showing you a glimpse of how we manipulate the LED that we get from Taiwan. Okay, so they're sharing the technology to us free. Of course, we have to buy the LED. Kaya medyo costly pa for now. But they have shared their results to us. So we know already what will be good for what stage of the plant. So here we know what spectrum, what amount, no, what ppfd we need to give to the plant at this stage of growth. Okay, so these are examples of yung upper. Can you show with a pointer? So the upper. Can I use the pointer now? Yeah. Okay. So itong upper panel. Yung upper panel actually is red, white, and blue light. Sorry. Excuse me. So ito yung manipulation na nagagawa, and we have the LED tubes wherein we can manipulate the spectrum or the dosage of the lights. And in the lower panel, this is just red and white. We can also manipulate according to our stage of the plant. Okay. So lahat yan, we already got the technology from them. No? Next slide, please. Okay. So ano pang nakuha namin sa Taiwan? No? So from the trainings that we received from the East and trainings and the collaboration that we got from Taiwan, we now have a design which is fit for Philippine tropical condition. Ibig sabihin, sturdy for baha, bagyo, and very strong storm and wind. No? Glimpse lang ito ng design. Okay, and hopefully in the next few months, we get the permit to go back for construction after the quarantine period to finish off the greenhouse. Once we have that, this will be open to the public for visit. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, ano yung sagot namin dun sa advancement from Agri 3.0 to Agri 4.0? Ano ba dapat ang ginagawa natin ngayon? No? So ngayon, sinasabi nila, no, the new generation of agriculturists is very modern already. very smart na yung generation, no? Meaning lahat na lang, no? They know because they have so much information at the tip of their finger. Lahat nakukuha nila sa internet, no? Lahat na sa search, and even planting, no? The fact that the idea of growing plants, no? They want an easy way out as well, no? Naririnig ko to narinig ko na to a few years ago na hinaing, no, ng mga agriculture universities or mga presidents that I had worked with or deans ng mga College of Agriculture ng iba-ibang universities. Konti ang enrollment nila ng agriculture, konti ang enrollment ng plant breeding per se or crop production. Bakit? Kasi mas gusto na nila yung bioinformatics, yung computer-based, no? They want statistical analysis na more designing, more of that. So anong naging request nung nakaraang mga regime, no? Let's make agriculture more attractive. Let's make it more adapt to the younger generation. Paano mangyayari yon? I think this was not only a problem of the Philippines, problem ata ito ng buong mundo or challenge ito ng buong mundo. Kaya nagkaroon ng Agriculture 4.0, meaning let's make something which the younger generation would be interested in so that they use that to produce their own food for their future. Hindi naman kasi pwedeng yung average age ng farmer natin ngayon or ng Southeast Asia per se ay sila pa rin yung magpapakain sa generation ngayon, di ba? So, we have to convince the younger generation. At paano natin gagawin yon? Then, Agriculture 4.0 is the answer, no? Lahat computer-based, lahat cloud, lahat web-based, no? So, this project of DOST answers that, caters to that question, no? So, we're gearing up. We're gearing up to move to that direction. And ngayon, meron na kaming app pero tinetest pa kaya hindi pa namin siya ma-launch. Hopefully, in the next few months, we will be able to launch all of this. No? So I'm showing you on screen, assuming that this is the spice farm, etong mga racks. No? So ito yung drawing namin or illustration namin ng racks inside the room. So this room can be the basement of a building, can be one room in a condominium, can be one corner of 7-Eleven, can be one office space of one call center or BPO who wants to use plants as parang kanilang therapy, no? So what you see now is every rack would have its own wireless sensor-based equipment, which will give all the information, send it to a database. No? And actually, this database would have a central control. Itong nasa upper right-hand corner below the Agri 2020 logo. No? So it's a computer as the central control. And all the data is stored in the cloud. Yes po, yung mga ka-age group ko, yung cloud po kahit na kulimlim tsaka tag-araw, tag-ulan, pwede po mag-save dyan sa cloud na yan. Kailan ko lang po nalaman. Anyway, so yung at this point we have devices already, no, cell phone and tablets na meron ng app which can monitor the status of the farm. So kung yung farm nandun sa IPB, yung aming monitoring system, because part of the team is in UP Diliman, so they can monitor. I also have the app in my cell phone kahit na beta version ito, so I can see what is happening in the spice farm in IPB kahit na nandito ako sa bahay. So that's how everything is working at this point. And soon, no, soon, we want it the other way around, no? We want to be able to control as well. So hopefully ito ay yung susunod na stage netong project na to we're in. Itong cellphone ko na mismo, no, yung gagamitin ko para kapag ka sinabi niya sa akin na tumataas yung temperature, pwede kong kontrolin yung temperature from my cellphone and say, okay, reduce the temperature from 25 to 24 degrees. Or add more solution because or add more acid because the pH is going up, something like that, no? So ganon yung ultimate objective. No, why we want to do that? Because we want to make agriculture attractive to the younger generation, sexy, and of course anybody can do it, no? So hindi kailangan ng sobrang training ng crop production, 101, 102, lahat-lahat na para makapag-grow ka ng sarili mong food or makapag-produce ka for production level to your community, sa barangay, or sa buong building nyo, or sa city. Anybody can do it. Basta lang kayang i-maintain yung environment na yon. Okay? So, please move to the next slide po. Okay. So ito yung way forward namin, no? Yung nasa left panel, that's how we envision, no? I'm sure if you go to the internet, marami kayong nakikitang ganyan sa ibang bansa. We hope we can do that in the Philippines and be able to do this in the municipalities, in the city level, no? Or in a community, in a subdivision for food production. Okay? And on the right panel, no, we hope that cryopreservation or conservation of the genetic stocks for our endemic species, endangered tree species, will also be fully automated, kagaya ng nangyayari ngayon sa this actually is a photo of PCC's genetic resource cryobank in Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, no? So hopefully ganito yung mangyari dun sa cryobank na bubuuin ng UPLB and UP Diliman together. Okay? Next slide, please. So next slide po. Oops. So ano yung gusto namin? Maging mainstream yung food production para smart ang Pilipino, no? And this time we hope that this will be sustainable, and we are looking forward to support from the government sector. Sana mapasa na yung batas, no, for urban farming or urban agriculture. We hope to manage our own resources, no, meaning yung mga pwede natin i-produce from our backyard, from our community, and consume natin ng mga kapitbahay natin, no? And we hope to be accountable to our environment protection. Bakit natin sinasabi na accountable tayo? Kasi when we do our own food production using hydroponics, we have very minimal pollution, no? We have very, very minimal din yung excess. We don't use pesticides and insecticides because we maintain our materials in our backyard only. So hindi natin gustong mag-spray dahil tayo yung nakatira doon sa loob ng bahay na yon, no? And we hope that spice food production or urban food production also is a way of showing or teaching the future generation or the current generation to be responsible for the future generation, no? Because they will be able to teach this to their next generation as well. And we can only do this, and we believe that we can only do this if everybody will be working together. No? So yung final TICO is actually teamwork. And we are the best example of that. No? Sabi nila, we just work on our own. We don't need other people. But now, the team is actually working with several other groups. No? Not only within UP, we're working with not only within UP Diliman, we're working with UP Los Baños as well. Now there are a few interested private farms that are willing to work with us. There is already one manufacturing team who's willing to work with us on the improvement of the design, or he's already expressed his willingness to adopt the technology of spice for the greenhouse, the modular racks, no? And we're working together to improve on the designs as well. We're working with two seed companies. So itong effort na to has been showing very promising teamwork, and hopefully it will not only be the OSTP Shard who will be supporting us, but the other agencies as well, as we move forward in this effort to mainstream urban food production and conservation. Okay. So with that, I'd like to thank no, at this time, the STP Shard is supporting us. And I'm showing here, kasi ang dami ng team. So I'm showing in my next slides yung personnel ng projects 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So Jim, I think I'm ready to answer some questions at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc J. No, very interesting discussion. Dax, do we have any questions from the audience? I think Dax also has some questions kasi naging
None so
interesado
far,
siya lalo
but
sa discussion po.
I have my own questions.
Ako din, meron din
But,
ako mga question ko.
before we do that, before we go with our own questions to Dr. Jessica, we would just like to greet everybody who's watching. We have people from Zamboanga, Santa Maria, Bulacan, and from Nagcarlan, Laguna as well. So, good afternoon. Ay, good evening na pala. Good evening na pala sa inyong lahat.
Tingnan po.
And yun nga po, I would like to remind you to stay tuned for the post-webinar evaluation form link. So, we will be posting that after the Q&A session. So, siguro, Jim, paunahin na kita kasi madami talaga akong tanong.
Okay.
It's a series of questions.
I think no, so yung una kong tanong, Doc J, no, is more of the LED lights, which I'm also using here as my background. Is this a special type of LED light, or LED grow lights but on a special, or can you use any commercially available LED lights to and then customize it to become a grow light? Paano po ba yun sineset up in terms of the LED lights?
So dalawa yung question mo, no? So yung LED lights that we are using for this experiment, for this setup, is actually developed for plant growth only, no? Hindi siya
Okay.
yung pambahay, no? So the LED lights that you're talking about, the commercial ones, yung what we call cool white, or yung mga white lights lang, or the fancy ones, no? So ito yung mga regular na light. We can also use them for growing plants, pero hindi efficient, no? So far, yung mga experiments both conducted in Taiwan, in Japan, no, maraming publications actually that are comparing The cool white o yung LED na what we use, no, like yung ginagamit ko ngayon, no, or what you're using now as your background, the colored
Mm.
ones, and compared to the LED grow lights for plants, ang laki talaga nung disparity dun sa quality ng growth ng plant.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
So these are, so short answer, these are customized for plant growth.
Yeah. Meron na bang mga distributor niyan dito po sa Pinas? If like somebody would want to venture into this kind of setup, um, can they readily buy this like from a supplier here in the Philippines, or kailangan sa ibang bansa po muna?
I know you can actually buy from Lazada, but of course yung you can buy anything, no, from online. But merong supplier ngayon ng yung ginagamit namin, no, sa
Mhm.
Pilipinas. Merong supplier, no. We had to have that, no. We had to request for a local supplier. Um, but I think meron din naman sa ibang bansa na you can buy directly from them. If you're not government-based, no, kung private individuals, you can also buy directly from US, Europe, Japan, Taiwan. Yun yung mga alam ko
Mm.
na merong nagpo-produce talaga. Now, the famous brands. So, the famous brands would have um, their own LED for
Mhm.
growing plants. No?
Mhm. Okay. All right. Dax,
Ayun.
ikaw muna. Baka may mga question
So,
ka dyan.
nung nabanggit ni Ma'am yung famous brands, buti na lang nakamute ako. Pero baka nalip-read naman nung nalip-read naman ng audience natin kung anong brand yon. So, nakikita natin yan sa mga Ace Hardware
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very ubiquitous yan. Very madami yan, nagkalat yan. So, merong mga questions dito, Ma'am. Before I go on asking my own questions, Sir Joel Jania asked, or Hania asked, what would be the cost of establishing controlled environment facility? So, meron po ba tayong parang ballpark figure, or is that data available na po?
Meron kaming initial data, pero kasi okay, I'll give you an idea, no. So, yung price namin kasi ngayon is actually government price. So you
Mm,
can imagine it's a bit higher than if you are an individual buying directly from suppliers. No?
okay.
Mhm.
So ang project actually has two models. So we tried to model the indoor vertical totally controlled environment using a 40-foot container van. Okay?
Mm,
So if you want to
Mhm.
retrofit the container van, you have to insulate it. You have to add um, an air conditioning system. Kailangan maingat talaga ako sa mga ano, no, kasi baka
sa mga
ma-levelan
brand.
ako
Papromote.
nagpo-promote. Anyway, so you have to have like anong tawag doon? Split type na air conditioning unit which is Wi-Fi. So you can actually,
You can control it
diba?
remotely po.
So you can actually remotely control
Mm.
it, and then you have to buy the racks. Okay, ballpark figure probably 500,000 you will spend 500,000 to set up the 40-foot container van.
For, per unit
And
po.
Per unit
yeah,
po.
so yeah, 500,000 to fit the siguro mga um 8 racks. If you can recall the slide I showed you where there were lettuce planted in it, a 4-layer rack like that can fit about 8 racks inside the container van, inside. So yung ilaw
Yan
yung
ba
very
yan? Or
costly.
hindi?
Yung isa kanina, but
Ah,
it's
okay.
okay. So you
Okay
can
pa,
fit
okay pa.
eight.
Mhm.
You can fit eight
8
eight
racks.
racks, 8 feet racks, 8 feet racks in a 40-foot container van. And why am I saying when it's a multiple of four? Kasi yung current na available na LED lights are 4 feet ang
Mm,
pinaka-short. So, yun yung medyo limitation at this point. Of course, if this becomes mainstream, I'm sure maraming magpo-produce ng shorter
Produce.
or even
yeah,
longer
and the
than that, no?
technology
Yes.
cost will go down.
Oo,
Yeah.
the
Technology
technology
cost will go
cost
down,
will go
yes.
down. Ngayon, medyo mahal pa kasi kaka-patent pa lang nila nung 2018. But probably in the next few
Bago pa.
years, bababa na yan.
Mm-mm.
So, the light is actually costly.
Yeah.
Yung famous brand na nabanggit ni Dax kanina, buti nakamute. Ang comparison, na just to give you an idea, the comparison of their LED light, which is 4 feet, is
Mm.
about 120,000 pesos isa. Yung sa China, no, yung sa China, mga nasa 10% lang nun.
Wait. What?
10%.
10% nun. tapos, tapos
What?
yung nakuha namin sa Taiwan is even less than the one from China.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's collaborative. No? Because it's collaborative.
Collaborative.
So,
Wow.
tapos what we
Wow.
can,
Yeah,
tapos we
yeah.
can actually we can change the spectrum of light. So we can manipulate what we feed the plants na
During
spectrum for
during the specific
The different growing
growth stages po ito,
stages.
no?
growing stages, or if we want to push flowering earlier, then
Early.
we change the spectrum.
According to the
Yeah.
yung economic use ng plant siguro, ma'am. If you want to
Yes,
shorten it, if you want
Oo.
to if you want to hit a certain production
Tan-
date or a
Oo.
certain level ng growth for marketability purpose,
Yes.
yun yun. You can play around
Yeah.
with that. Yun
Yeah.
yun. Yun talaga
So key
yun.
talaga yung key talaga yung light, no?
Mm-mm.
For
Pero
the
tita,
whole process.
you mentioned different factors, no? I'm assuming like the temperature, the humidity. There are already available or commercially available sensors for that. Yung question
Yes.
ko is on the CO2 levels. Is there a commercially available sensor to measure CO2, or that's a
Ah.
specially designed sensor for that?
Merong pang measure na commercially available. Actually, we got it from yung nabanggit ko kanina.
Famous brand.
Parang hindi famous brand. Made in, made there.
Okay. Okay.
So, ano siya, pero yung to control it, yun yung wala pang masyadong available sa market. So what the project wants to do is actually not only control the release of carbon dioxide, but measure it
But
as
also-
well, safe levels, and then
Yeah.
the dosage of everything else, na pati yung nutrient solution, pati lahat, so
Yeah.
that mas konti na yung personnel who are actually maintaining the plants during the growing stages,
Yes.
at mas focus na sila doon sa start at saka doon sa dulo, no, sa pre-production tsaka sa post-harvest.
Production. Yes.
So yun na yung mas focus nung
Human
human
aspect
activity.
ng labor.
Yes.
Okay.
Ayun. Sige po. Before, I actually have I'm forming a lot of thoughts already. And so, bago po yan, meron pong tanong ulit, ma'am. So, hello po, Ate Jessica. Otep here. Considering the life cycle analysis, meron na po ba kayong analysis if sustainable siya? May factor din po ata ang economies of scale and the kind of crops to produce like herbs to make it profitable. Tama po ba?
Yes, very true, Otep. No? What we saw, what we learned from other countries, una, you have to really make sure that optimum yung growth conditions for that specific crop that you want to grow inside. No? If you have And then the next question is, you should have a sure market, no? So dapat niche market ka.
Mm.
So for
Mm.
example, you want to grow lettuce, you make sure that you have a neighbor whose
Willing to.
restaurant na samgyupsal yung ino-offer.
Yes.
So that your neighbor is going to buy from you. 'Di ba? All
Yes.
the time,
Institutional
every day
buyers.
kailangan niya. Yes.
Yes.
So or you want to create your own market, for example, yung supermarkets. If I think I can use the experience of the Cavite group, no, of growers. What they did was, which is actually a very nice model, backyard farming silang lahat ng snap, no, ng snap growers for lettuce. And this is
Mhm.
leafy romaine or yung mga greenspan, no. What they did was they have a community of growers, and then they have what they call an integrator. So it's
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
tantamount to a middleman, pero hindi siya
Pero,
actually middleman who will bring it all the way to Manila and charge them so much. So this person collects from the community and just earns and just marks up a 10% markup
oh,
for
Mhm.
himself
for the
to
integrator.
Mhm.
to offer the integrator to bring to the supermarket, and this is how they supply yung mga supermarkets na kulay dilaw at saka kulay berde yung ano yung pintura ng
Mm.
supermarket.
Parang
So
kakulay po
ganon,
nung
Mm.
LED ni Jim.
kakulay ng LED ni Jim. And what they
Ah,
do, no,
ah.
meron silang mga marketing strategies now, no. So the yellow supermarket marks has their own rack, and then what they do
Mm.
is the lettuce or the yung mga even the herbs like basil and all that, they put in a styro cup na butas yung dulo,
Mm.
showing the roots, and then they have a label hydroponically grown,
Yeah.
and they can command a higher price.
Yes.
So if the
Mm.
lettuce is grown in the soil, for example lang to ha, this is not an exact figure to date. No? For example, the lettuce grown is 25 pesos kung per piece yung soil based. If it's lettuce na hydroponically grown, they can command like 35, 40 pesos per plant.
Mm. Better price.
Better price. Of course, mas
Mhm.
mataas pa rin yung organic, which is probably 50 pesos per piece.
Mm.
Mm.
Opo.
Kasi meron
So,
pang additional step kung organic. So talagang mas mahal siya
Yeah.
kaysa
Yeah.
sa
Yung certification
hydroponics.
aspect. Yeah.
mm.
Yes.
Okay.
So ganun yung mga strategies nila. So
Mm.
yes, we see no VIP farms is earning a lot. Ayaw lang nilang magsabi magkano kinikita nila. No? But
Low-key lang.
yes, but they have expanded, no? So that means talaga
Mm.
kumikita sila, no? And the market actually is very big, kulang ang supply, no? Kulang ang supply before the lockdown. UP Diliman, yung harvest namin sa UP Diliman, we supply chocolate kiss, and we already started talking
Oh.
to chocolate kiss na nagsara
Mm.
na. So and we started communicating with naku, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan. Anyway, so isang restaurant na chain na
Mm.
sa Manila din, no, to supply for their lettuce needs. But then again, kulang kasi kaya sila naghahanap ng maraming suppliers kasi kulang talaga yung napoproduce natin. And then they don't want to buy from outside kasi mahal nga, tapos pangit na rin yung quality pagdating sa Manila.
Mm.
Yun.
Ayun. So, Jim, meron ka pa bang mga questions for Ma'am?
Meron pa ako pero ikaw muna.
Okay. So, actually, ma'am, yung before siguro I will just whittle down my question to just one. Kasi in the interest of time and marami pa po kasing nagtatanong din dito sa chat. Ang tanong ko lang po, if I'm an individual and if I'm interested in this project and I want to invest or I want to put up my own site or yun nga po yung tawag dito yung container van,
Horticulture.
I want to set that up. What type of support can DOST or the agencies attached to this project provide for an individual like myself? Ano po yung mga pwedeng support na may provide ng mga project and its proponents po?
Okay. So, very good question. So,
Okay na-cover na yung question ko.
okay. Ganon. Very good question kasi gusto talaga namin encourage yung mga kagaya nyo to go into this kind of to this kind of business. If I can only mention yung nag-visit namin sa Taiwan, I think they were as young as you when they started, late 20s, early 30. After 2 years, nakaka-afford na silang bumili ng sarili nilang kotse. No? Tatlo lang silang friends na nagsimula ng business nila. No? That's how profitable it is. Anong support namin? Masigabong palakpakan, pwede ba?
Moral support.
Moral support, of course.
Go.
We are committed to support technically, no? The individuals or teams who would want to go into this, who would want to adopt the technologies that we have developed. Matutuwa ang DOST, matutuwa lahat if we get adopters like you to move forward or to push forward this technology. Pagdating dun sa ibang aspects, hindi ko na masagot, ha?
Apa.
Magpa-support na lang muna kayo sa parents nyo for that aspect. But
Hindi, sagot na po yun ng isang agency na alam natin, di ba, Dax? May nakapila na sasagot doon sa aspeto na yan.
Yes.
Meron na yan.
Oo. So hopefully true to their word sila na they would support the younger
These projects, yeah.
entrepreneurs like you na to go into agri-entrepreneur. No?
Yes.
And this is a very good opportunity for all of you, for all of us actually. No? So yun.
Go ahead, Jim.
Ako. So na-cover na yung isang question ko kay Dax. Yung ano ko din naman, tita, is I know this is a government program, no, and normally the government programs have a time frame of how they run, how long they run. Way forward and sustainability wise, scalability, sustainability, is the program open to further collaboration? Say for example, like farm management groups or IT companies na willing to take the solutions further in terms of the platforms or web or mobile apps para mas ma-enhance po. Kasi say for example, tita, I came across a company in the States na IT solutions nila is open source, no, and then they actually allow other people na pwede tumulong para mas ma-contribute at mas mabilis yung pag-develop ng code, na mga integrated ang tawag nila access program interference or interaction, yung APIs. So nakakabuo sila ng mga connections. So ang inisip ko po is maganda po kasi yung technology and I know it's government funded, so I know it should be publicly available. Is there any drive towards making it open source para you can build a community around it to help further develop the program and solution?
Magandang tanong yan, no? Medyo hindi ako familiar dun sa nitty-gritty of the sensors and all that. But what we are discussing now is way forward is for all the sensors that projects 1 and 2, actually I asked them to join in pero hindi ko pala alam kung online sila ngayon, no? So what what we are doing now is trying to find um, solution companies na yung dinevelop na sensors, yung dinevelop nila ng mga um, gadgets would be taken up by another company, either a startup or an existing company already, para sila yung mag-mass produce or mag-develop further, mag um, mag-refine pa nung outside itsura nung or nung interface nung
Mm.
mga sensors na dinevelop ng UP. Kasi for us, hindi kami wala kam well for UP hindi nagtitinda yung UP, 'di ba? So we really have to
Mm-mm.
have partners who would want to take on the technology at sila yung mag-develop for it to be available in the market, no?
Mm.
And for the collaborative side, very open kami sa collaboration. In fact, um, yung isang hindi pa masyadong official pero nag-sign na siya, so hindi namin natapos yung mga agreements and all that, no. Nag-sign na siya ng agreement na i-adopt niya yung models for the greenhouse and the racks, yung modular racks. But he would have the leeway of developing it further, so it's more
Mm.
collaborative. And right now, as of today, he's able to get an agreement na with an institution na bubuuin niya yung greenhouse nila with the racks and yung facility doon, no.
Mm.
So hindi ko muna siya i-announce publicly kasi
Apa.
wala pa yung
Official.
kontrata.
Apa.
Official, syempre gusto ko mag-announce yung mismong silang dalawa.
Mm-mm.
So, gagamitin nila yung technology ng SPY. So, we will be working hand in hand to help the institution that requested him to set up the whole thing. So, siya yung siya yung magbubuo ng greenhouse tsaka nung mga racks with our inputs, with the inputs of UPLB, si Dr. Saludes, no, and Dr. Santos inputs on the physiology part for the plants na i-grow ng institution na yon. And then we will also teach the people there to yung mga staff nila so they can use it, and then eventually we leave them to stand on their own na siguro in a year or two dapat kaya na nilang sila na yung mag-develop further ng buong technology. So we're open to more collaboration. Merong isang municipality in Manila and isang municipality down south na or isang city, dalawang cities na nag-express na ng interest nila for collaboration. Hindi lang nag-materialize agad because of our current situation, pero hopefully pag medyo maluwag na yung travels and
Yes.
hindi lang kami magmi-meeting na lang kundi makaka-visit na sila talaga sa IPB to see the actual setups so that they can truly say na yes, this is what we want and we will sign the contract, no? So that everything is official na na ganon. So ngayon hindi ko masabi yung mga pangalan kasi nga
Understandable po yan.
baka ako mapalo, no?
Secret po muna.
Pero I'm sure makikita nyo yan in the next few months kasi they will start to build
Abangan pa namin.
Abangan po namin yun.
Oo.
So, ayun po.
Alright. Wala na ako, ikaw bro.
Actually, I don't have much in way of questions, but I have thoughts lang. But before we go ahead with that, siguro doon na lang sa batian portion ko yun i-discuss, no? So, ma'am, ayun, the cat's out of the bag. So, dito po sa shows namin sa Dream Agritech, we have a tradition and we allow our guests to greet anybody or everybody who he or she wants to greet, kasi po alam naman po natin mga Pilipino tayo. At pag nalalagay po tayo sa isang screen, ang kadalasan po tinatanong natin ay pwede po bang bumate o kaya pwede po bang manawagan.
Manawagan.
So kung,
Yes.
kung kung gusto niyo pong bumate o manawagan, we'll give you the floor, ma'am. So bago po siguro kayo, I'll allow Jim to siguro set the stage, siguro sample na rin for Ma'am Jessica on how we do,
Okay.
how we go about our greetings. So Jim, go ahead, bro.
All right, all right. So, first of all, thank you, Doc J. I also, as I call her, Tita J, from how I got to know Tita J, very open to share this exciting new development of technologies that I think young people would be very much interested. And I think we really wanted to make sure na ma-invite din siya dito kasi this is something based on the what we call this show, Agri 2020, New Perspectives in Agriculture. This is something new, something that we want to make public and also let the general public know that there is something like this being developed here in the Philippines from our very own scientists na homegrown technology, homegrown solutions that can help achieve food security in this manner. So congrats to the DOST Spice Project team with Doc J and everybody else there. Mabuhay kayo lahat, and I hope this would really become adopted and adapted to the different contexts of the country to achieve our security, the issue of food security, especially sa urban centers. So, thank you. I'd like to go and send my greetings now, or yung bati, yung
Yan, ayan na,
pagbabati
bati
ko.
na.
Okay. Okay. So, una, thank you to my family who's always tuning in, no, to this webinar. My dad, my mom, my ate, my diti, my brother-in-law, and my nephew and niece, and also my fiance who's very supportive of this show. Yung family niya rin, thank you for being supportive of all these. So para
Thank
sa
you.
mga taga UP at UP Los Baños na
Woo!
na tuloy-tuloy ang pagre-research para maghanap ng mga solutions for food security ng bansa. Kudos sa inyo lahat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Yes. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. So, Ma'am Jessica, kayo na po.
Wait.
Ay,
Sorry,
wait lang,
before I
naglilista
forget.
pa siya. Parang naglilista
Sorry.
yata si Ma'am ng babatiin niya.
Nakalimutan ko rin. Thank you to the Toastmasters who are tuning in. Tito Joel Hania is actually a fellow Toastmaster. So thank you for tuning in also, Tito Joel. And I know the other club officers and members of ERI Toastmasters are also watching. So thank you for tuning in.
Shout out to the Toastmasters Club. So,
Okay.
Doc, okay na po ba yung listahan nyo? Kompleto na po ba yan?
Parang hindi ako prepared. Hindi niya sinabi sa akin na may ganito. Joke.
Okay po. Sige po. If you need more time, ako na po maunang babate. Para po ma-prepare nyo pa po yung list nyo.
Okay lang. Kasi pag binigyan mo ako more time, pag may nakalimutan ako, papagalitan ako ng mga yun.
Okay po, ma'am. Sige po. Go ahead po. You have the floor.
Okay. So, first of all, gusto ko magpasalamat dun sa opportunity ng Dream Agri and for inviting me to this webinar series ng Agriculture 2020. Sana yung Agriculture 2030, tsaka 2040, tsaka 2050, nandun pa rin ako, no?
Yes!
Pwede pa rin. Sana hindi pa rin ako
Pwede.
smile nun. At hindi na ganito lang yung kapag-usapan natin. Talagang seryosohan na makabagong teknolohiya na talaga lahat. I'm very happy to share, and I'd like to thank, syempre pareho kami ni Jim, no? Nagpapasalamat sa pamilya, lalo na doon sa may-ari ng kwarto na to, itago natin siya sa pangalang Mr. Ray at pinagamit niya ako ng at nagtitiis siya doon sa labas. Joke lang.
Thank you po.
So, I'd like to thank my family for supporting and always understanding my advocacies, no, na I could just settle for teaching my students and just preparing my lessons, going home and spending time with them, but I really want to do more, not only for them, and they know that not I'm doing all this for not only for my family but for everybody around, and hopefully for the future generation as well. No? Um, ang aking ever dependable na nanay na parating naniniwala sa aking kakayahan kahit na medyo doubtful minsan-minsan na aking mga sisters who are always supportive of all that I want to do, no, with my career and all, and even takes care of my kids if I'm not around to do all this stuff. Okay, for my kids who are understanding and willing to share my time with them, with all of you, and all my other students, okay, and all my other friends. For the shout out dito sa buong Spice team, no? Spice team ng Diliman, no, led by Carl and Mark, and the UPLB team, no? So dito sa LB marami kaming members na sobrang magtrabaho with the MECQ, willing to risk, no, at naglalakad ng malayo or nagbibisikleta ng malayo para makapagdilig ng mga halaman, para hindi mamatay ang mga tissue culture materials. So sina Aleli and sina Rick, sina Alfred who takes care of the hydroponics facility, yung IPB, si Ian, no? So we're all taking the risk so that we are sure na meron tayong makukuhang results in the next few months for everybody to get much from us. The DOSTP shared team na parating naniniwala sa amin, supportive lalo na si Yusek Gev na very supportive sa amin, no, sa buong SPICE program. And I should make mention yung dating Fisher director, si P. David, si Dr. si P. David, and yung current director na si Dr. Eric Paring, who are both very supportive of the project as well. And of course, yung mga kasama ko sa Institute of Biology na parating supportive, hindi dahil libre parati yung lettuce nila every time na nag-harvest.
Sarap.
Pero dahil naniniwala sila na ito yung future natin, no? Ito yung dapat nating ginagawa. Nagtuturo sa pamamagitan ng pagpapakita papaano ginagawa talaga yung isang bagay. No? So, thank you sa mga mentors ko na sana ay hindi nabigo sa pagtuturo nila ng tama sa akin, including my father. No? I hope na hindi nila pinapagsisihan lahat ng tinuro nila sa akin. And I hope I become a good teacher as well, na magpapasalamat din yung mga future kong current kong mentoran. No?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. I'm appreciative of everybody na tumutulong sa project as well. No? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for gracing our show and for sharing updates on the project. Go ahead, bro.
Ipa-plug ko lang, no, before ka mag-greet. Hindi lang magaling na scientist si Tita J, magaling din siya na chef. So, para sa mga
hindi.
Meron pwede umaabot po ba yan dito?
Meron siyang niluluto at binibenta na patatim, no? So parang naka-schedule na akong bumili. So,
abot po ba yan sa
ipa-plug ko
Santa
na rin
Cruz?
Kung dadaan akong Los Baños at pupuntang Santa Cruz, pwede akong dalhin para sa iyo.
Pasabay, please.
Oo.
Okay. Pwede
Ipa-plug ko na.
Well,
Sorry, Tita J. Plinag ko na.
That's my mother-in-law's recipe.
Yeah.
Yan.
Abangan ko yan. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Jim. And again, I would like to thank Dr. Jessica Ray for yun nga po, sharing the updates and sharing this project of DOST and the other institutions na kasali dito, UP Diliman, UPL Los Baños, of course. Shout out to UP Los Baños. Thank you so much. Um, ayun ano, I think I've told Jim and the rest of the team of Dream Agritech knows that I'm really an advocate for urban farming. I'm really an advocate for indoor farming. And nabanggit ko rin yun kay Doc Jessica kanina backstage. So kasi yun nga no, kanina madalas na name drop yung country na Taiwan. Parang paulit-ulit yan na name drop yung Taiwan, yung National Taiwan University. Tama po ba ma'am? NTU?
Yes.
So I think they're one of the forerunners when it comes to technology. This particular technology, no. And I was blessed enough to visit and see the way that they have set it up, no, dun sa isang agri expo nila. And they say na farmers shouldn't see technology as a threat. So farmers shouldn't see technology as taking away their jobs or taking away from their livelihood. Rather, it is complementary to the farmer life. So technology will allow you to pursue other things, maybe take care of your family more, have more time to spend with your family rather than watering 2 hectares. You can just water it using the newest technology or produce crops indoors. So you'll have other time for other pursuits. To parang ang holistic human approach siya eh. So parang yun yung approach nila sa agricultural technology, and I think I subscribe to that, and I hope that and technology naman is in general to help mankind naman talaga. So thank you for sharing this technology. And yun nga, indoor agriculture shortens the supply chain significantly, especially if planted siya near the urban centers. It enhances food security, especially in a time like this na mahirap ang mobility. It also reduces carbon footprints because hindi mo na kailangang mag-haul from production centers to the city centers. Seasonality is reduced because because it's indoor. Prices are stabilized. Yun nga, sabi ni Doc, kailangan meron ka ng marketing partners. So with this technology, you can actually set target dates on when you can harvest. You can actually give your customers a target date, 40 days lalabas na yung lettuce ko. So you can pre-order, you can do a lot of things marketing wise, and but essentially it gives more access to citizens to quality food, and quality food will only increase yun nga, aptitude and learning, health, and all that. So it's a very commendable project, and I'm really excited about this project. So thank you ma'am. I would also ayun na, yun yung synthesis. but I would yun po kasi sobrang excited talaga ako, and lagi ko nga kinikwento kay Jim na this is my dream farm, an indoor farm wherein I can produce any season, kahit saan, kahit sa Bicol ako magtanim na madalas bumabagyo, pwede ako maglagay ng container van dyan and then put up a vegetable farm in an island or in an area which is hard to reach. So, yung mga ganong scenarios, and I'm very excited, and I hope na sana po turuan nyo kami dito sa Dream Agritech kung paano kami makakapag-participate sa Project Spice. So we can help
para maging
disseminate.
Spice Boys po kami.
Apo,
Para kasama kayo sa Spice Boys. Okay.
Yeah. Tama. And ayun, shoutout na lang din. Simulan ko na yung shoutouts ko. Shoutout, of course, nabanggit nila yung Toastmasters kanina. I was a former member of Toastmasters sa Land Bank. So, shoutout to the Land Bank Toastmasters. Shoutout din sa parents ko, who's always watching. My father and my mama. So, shout out. Sabi nung papa ko, fan din daw po siya ng Pata Team. So, ayun. Jim, thank you sa thank you sa plug.
Sorry po.
Okay. Dadali ko na yan.
Yung Chinese restaurants sa Santa Cruz, no?
Opo. Ayun. Kaya kailangan talaga ng bagong mapagkukuhanan.
Source.
ng Pata Team.
Yeah.
So, yun pa. Ma'am, go ahead.
Oo. Well, merong humirit doon sa team ko. Ma'am, paki-announce po, mag-harvest po tayo ng 30 kilos sa August 25. Open for order.
Saan po yun? Sa Las Baños or Diliman po?
Yung tanim namin yun sa IPB dito sa Las Baños, we're selling them during the harvest. No? So after we harvest and collected all the data, we're selling them out.
Mm. So, saan po sila pwedeng pumunta to buy?
Saan po
Sa
nabibili po?
IPB?
Ay pwede naman mag-message sa akin kasi nga 'di ba mahirap pumasok ng UPLB. So we can
Ay.
actually meet up sa somewhere in Los Baños area.
Okay.
Para
So,
doon na lang yung yung selling. So
Mhm.
we can always bring it out naman.
all right. So, can they,
So yun
ano
na,
po?
mag-message lang sa akin kapag gustong mag-reserve.
Opo, August
Yes.
25.
August 25.
August 25, 30 kilos. So, ito yung sinasabi kong
Yes,
marketing.
Yes.
Pwede mo nang i-predict na, I mean, pwede mong
Yes.
i-project na, okay, harvest ako ng 30 kilos at this particular date. So, abangan nyo na yan. So, pwede
Ayan
mo na
proof of
ipila yung
concept na
mga...
yan, guys.
Yun, yun yung sinasabi
Yes.
natin. So, August 25, on or before August 25, order na kayo 30
can
kilos
they-
of lettuce.
How can they contact Tita J? Sa
Can they contact you through the
Facebook po ba or
Facebook
email
page,
po?
ma'am?
Facebook na lang, yeah. Facebook. Messenger. You can find me on Messenger.
Ayan,
Okay.
Si Ma'am
Yan yung
Jessica
name ni
Ray on Messenger.
Tita J sa Messenger.
Yes.
Yan.
Ayan po.
Ayan.
So, ma'am, ano po yan? Is it Lolio Rosa? Is it Green Rice?
Greenspan. So, pwede siyang samgyupsal.
Oy!
That's what we do actually.
Ayun, so,
Samgyupsal.
one component of samyupsal down, yung karne na lang ang kailangan nyo. Pwede na kayo mag-home
Yes.
samyupsal party. So, 30
Yes.
kilos yan. So, abangan, August 25. Ayan. Ma'am, thank you. Thank you for that information. And, of course, I would also like to greet my girlfriend, Ren, who's traveling right now. So, please stay safe. And, thank you to our families as well for always supporting our endeavors dito sa Dream Agritech. Jim, I speak for Jim. I speak for Bards as well, who's also our section head. Our families and our loved ones have been so supportive of this. We want to thank everybody. Before I forget, I promised the link for our evaluation form. So here it is, dreamagritech.com/spice up. Once again, dreamagritech.com/spice up. So please make sure to fill that up before 10 p.m. today. 10 p.m. today. So yun lagi yung deadline natin. So this is for the interest of fairness lang, no, para sa mga nanood from start to finish. So sila ang priority namin bigyan ng e-certificates. So the deadline is later tonight at 10 p.m. So once again, I'll show that to you, dreamagritech.com/spice up. And kaya namin to kino-collect. Of course, we also want to send the feedbacks to our speakers, especially to Doc Jessica. We will also send this, the forms that you send, kung ano man yung mga insights na natutunan nyo, ano yung mga nagustuhan nyo, ano yung mga kailangan namin i-improve further. So, nandyan lahat yan. And we also send them to our speakers so that it also helps inform them on how, what you like about their presentation and how they can also further improve in serving you as well. So, thank you so much. Thank you for spending time. Thank you for spending your Mondays here at Dream Agritech, Dream Agri Media shows. So, bago pala, makalimutan ko ulit, ay pa-plug ko na rin yung show natin on Wednesday. We have Agri Ka Ba, our in-depth look, lagi na sinasabi ni Jem, to our agricultural actors. So, yung behind the scenes ng mga tao sa agriculture. And this Wednesday, our guest is Dr. Andrew Bunan. Isa to sa mga pinakasikat na Facebook personalities pagdating sa poultry. Ayan, no? So, poultry expert and social media content creator. So, hindi naman natin pag-uusapan yung pagmamanok dito. Ang pag-uusapan natin ay yung kanyang career, paano siya napunta sa agriculture, ano yung mga insights niya, paano ba bilang isang dating batang scientist, paano siya nag-grow into who he is today. So, yan yung topic natin on Wednesday. And next Wednesday, meron din tayong isa pang guest sa Agri Ka Ba. So, stay tuned for that. Promote na lang namin yun sa Wednesday sa Agri Ka Ba.
Magandang usapan yun.
Ay, nako. Ayan. So, Jim, I think kailangan ka dun sa particular na episode na yon kasi balita ko magkakaintindihan daw kayo kasi pareho kayo ng dialect.
Oo nga daw. Narinig ko.
Oo. So, kailangan ka doon. Kailangan ka doon sa
Kana
episode
mga
na yun.
Bisaya dira, na naminaw karon, i-schedule na sa inyong calendar next Wednesday pod kay natay Bisaya nga guest nga
Ayan.
guwapa o maayo ang maihatag nga storya.
Ayun. So,
Basta yun.
ah, maayo. Maganda yung story niya. Yun. Rated, context clues, I get it. I know some of these
Yes.
words. So, ayun ano.
Ako smile lang.
Ganun na lang. So, ayun, thank you everybody. So, please, I'd like to remind everybody also to please take our client availability survey before we forget para malaman namin kung anong day nyo ba gustong manood ng Agri 2020, anong oras nyo siya gustong mapanood, pati na rin yung Agri ka ba, dreamagritech.com/agrimedia-survey, dreamagritech.com/agrimedia-survey. So please don't forget. Bago po pala tayo matapos, meron pa mga nagsha-shoutout. Si Ma'am Eileen Garcia, I think she's also from Erie as well. Hello daw po, Ate J. Ray.
Ate J. Ray.
Ayan.
Ang dami kong kapatid, no?
Ayan. So, yun po, may nagre-request pala ulit for the link. Once again, dreamagritech.com/spiceup. So, please, fill up the form so you can get your e-certificates. The deadline is 10 p.m. today. So, in behalf of Jim Cano and our guest, Dr. Jessica Ray, my name is Dakila Olfindo. This has been Agriculture 2020, bringing you new perspectives in agriculture. Ma'am, please stay after the show. Kwentuhan po tayong konti before we
Okay, sure,
head off.
sure.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Bye.
Thank you mga taga-Erie for watching and taga-Diliman for watching.
Shout out, Erie, Pidiliman.
Kay Eileen.